It's a little damp and chilly out today. It's supposed to rain, so we'll see how far we get this video. But it's 3D season now, and I wanted to talk about kind of fine-tuning your string walking. If you gap shoot, you know, something to think about. You know, visualize items to pinpoint your accuracy. All right, and we're going to start close. And there's something I had a video I made on arrow trajectory. And we're going to talk about plotting a little bit of arrows for 3D, and everybody's setup is different. You'll have to do it for your own shooting style, draw length, bow poundage. But we're going to talk a little about that today if we have time. And I have this old vintage 56-year-old Herder's bow that I'm going to use just to talk about the gap shooting, okay? So I'm going to set up this camera where you can see me shoot, and we'll do a little more shooting and talking. Okay, I'm going to start close at 5 yards, and I just want to give you an idea on visualization if you gap shoot, okay? So we're going to take this old Herder's, like I said, what is it, 45 pounds at 28 inches, okay? And we're going to start at 5 yards. And at 5 yards, bows shoot differently than they do at 10, 15, 20. If you were a compound shooter, you'd have to use like a 30-yard pin, maybe even more, 35-yard pin at one of these targets that they put at 3D tournaments real close. For string walking, usually my 5 yard is my 10, 5 yard is my 10 yard, but I put it like the bottom of the 10 ring. So anyway, here we go. I notice with when I shoot this bow, 3 fingers on the gap shooting right under the nock. It's a little weird. I visualize the soda can. We're going to be aiming at that block today. You see that block target? You see the dot? When I'm at 5 yards, for some reason, I aim like a soda can underneath. And then at 10 yards, what I do is visualize a 2-liter bottle, put the cap on the 10 ring, and I shoot the bottom of the 2-liter bottle. Okay, and that will make me hit. And the further you go back, you'll have to visualize different things if you gap shoot. I'm just going to spend a little time on gap shooting. You know, maybe a tuna can at some point underneath you'll have to visualize underneath the X. Maybe a point on, and then once you go past your point on, not under the nock, you know, then you could use these items to visualize as you go back further. Oh, it's more than my point on, though. Maybe I got to go a tuna can higher. Maybe I got to go to soda can higher. And at a long range, maybe you got to go from the X, stand a 2-liter bottle on top of the X and visualize the cap and shoot the cap, okay? Visualization comes in handy if you practice it. And what you do is get a piece of paper and write down what you have to do at different ranges, even for gap shooting. So you can pick up the bow 6 months from now and say, all right, I want to go to a 3D shoot in 2 days. It's going to be a little tough to practice, but if you have good form and you look at your little cheat sheet, so to speak, all right, real close, a soda can, then I go back, maybe it's a 2-liter bottle, and then as I go past that 2-liter bottle, it's going to start, you're going to put the point higher and higher and higher again. At some point, you'll be a soda can again. But like I said, real close on top of the target. For some reason, this is shorter than normal. So let's try it. Okay, here we are, 5 yards. They put out one of those little skunk targets that we all hate. Okay, I'm going to pretend there's a soda can underneath that dot. Let's see how I do. Here we go. Okay. See, only a little bit. I visualize the soda can, and I hit the dot. I'm going to move this back to 10 yards. And this is going to be the end of me talking about gap shooting and this little Herder's, all right? Because, you know, I'm practicing string walking. I'll explain that at these 3D tournaments. And I'm going to want to practice my yardage, okay? You know, some people in their mind, the old timers, they go, oh, you're cheating string walking. No, it's not, because if I practice this, I can shoot just as good, all right? But you just got to practice it. Some of them don't want to listen when you want to give them tips. Others do, and they do well, but here we go. We're going to go 10 yards. Okay, now, hit or miss, whatever it is, I'm going to visualize a 2-liter bottle and shoot the bottom off at 10 yards, okay? Let's see how that works out. Okay, try to be a shooting machine, see? Keep your hand up on target and your hand against your face. I'm going to go through that. I know you're probably sick of me hearing you go over form in every one of my videos, but we're going to do it one more time. But let's go take a look. Okay. Okay, I just wanted to go over, you know, when you're shooting real close, because they'll put one of those targets at a 3D tournament to throw you off, you know what I mean? And for this bow, maybe yours too, it's only a soda can, okay? But normally, at 10 yards, you picture a 2-liter bottle and shoot the bottom of the 2-liter bottle. And the arrow will go there. That's for gap shooting, okay? And then from that point on, you know, at 10 yards, let's say, further back you go, you got to raise it, okay? The only exception is when you're really close. I figure that's why I throw it in, all right? I'm going to stop the film here. Okay, let me take out these arrows. Okay, I've taken deer with this bow. I have it on eBay for $700. Make an offer, a little less you can get it. But that's not why I'm shooting. I'm shooting it just to teach you the, you know, what you do when you have a regular bow and you're really close, okay? And gap shooting, I want to tell you about gap shooting. I'm going to stop it here. We're going to go back, and then we're going to get into the form part of it again. I'll, you know, talk about form, and then we're going to talk about string walking and plotting an arrow, okay? Okay, there's a couple of things that you got to have in order to have nice tight groups, okay? One is when you put your bow hand out, okay, don't hyperextend it. If you hyperextend it, pop this up, when you release, you're going to have a recoil effect and shots will go to the left, okay? So I just put it up. I won't say, I used to say there's a bend in my arm. There is a natural bend in your arm, but I don't shoot like this. I just hold it out without pushing it. And you'll see there's a little dip there, okay? That's just natural, okay? That's how I shoot. The other thing is, if I was to shoot a bow not cut past center, if you throw your hand out, see that little angle? That's how I shoot a bow not cut past center. Even long bows. Now this bow here is cut past center. It's my 3D bow, and I shoot it with a finger tucked in or 2 fingers tucked in, usually the bottom finger, all right? So I shoot it upright, okay? And the thing I do that nobody else does is, if I'm shooting 3D, I want to be a shooting machine, okay? If you shoot with a loose grip, you've got to have a finger sling, okay? Let the bow float. But how I shoot is, I have disc damage and nerve damage. What I like to do is, I kind of keep it loose. When I come up and draw on touch anchor, I hold the bow. It's there. When I release, I want to be that shooting machine. I want to keep that bow hand up and on target and my hand against my face, okay? So, back tension. I don't use back tension. I'm just a static shooter. My elbow's all the way back. If somebody was to come and push on my elbow, my whole body would turn, okay? Okay, so if you use static, if you use back tension, what you do is you come back, touch anchor, elbow all the way back, all right? You can't push it back any further. And how you activate the back tension, once you're back, you can't really pull back, okay? All you could do is use this 30-degree downward, okay, motion like this, and I'm going to explain it. This is the best way I could explain it, okay? If you ever was outside and you were tired and felt like you need to stretch and you had a yawn and you went, ugh. Look at my elbow. Look at my back. You see that downward stretch, okay? You're squeezing your back muscles, you're expanding your chest like a stretch. That's back tension, okay? That seems to be the best way to explain back tension, okay? So when you're up and you're gonna shoot, back tension, you're all the way back. Okay, make sure you're all the way back. Feel it all the way back. Keep your hand wherever your anchor is tight against your face, okay? And when you release, keep the pressure on your face all the way back, okay? That'll prevent you from plucking. Two things will keep you from plucking. Elbow all the way back and maintain pressure on your face. If you go to a site called World Archery and you watch the Olympic shooters shoot, okay, they do close-ups of their bow hands and their releases. The bow hand is always up and on target after they release, and they keep a loose grip. They have finger slings, okay? You watch the bow hand as it's up, may jump forward and move, but it's the hands up. If you watch them release, they go underneath their jaw like this, and as they release, you can see their face ripple because they maintain that pressure. Okay, so if you want to improve your shots, maintain pressure with this release. Have a solid release. Know where you're coming back to every time. I take my thumb, I shoot 3 under, top finger to the corner of my mouth. For 3D, and I do it for hunting too. For 3D, I have a light bow, light arrows, helps me get the distance. And with a heavy hunting bow, when I go with the recurve, no matter how I shoot, I gap shoot or whatever, no matter how I shoot, I still go 3 under, top finger to the corner of my mouth, elbow all the way up. And both styles, both ways, hunting or target, I keep that bow hand up and on target after the release. If you listen to guys hunt and they practice shooting 20 yards all the time, and then they go out and they go to shoot a deer, they say, I missed, I can't believe it, I went underneath the deer. Why did it go underneath the deer? Probably 80% or more of the time is they were so excited seeing that deer that they want to hit. Okay, they did this. They wanted to watch that arrow hit the deer, so they dropped their arm and they peeked. And that's why the arrow goes underneath, okay? You've seen all this stuff in my other videos, so I don't want to waste any more of your time. Try to remember those few things. And now we're going to plot my lightweight 3D bow. It's like 34 pounds at my draw length. And we're going to see how far we can go back and hit that 10 ring. You know, with that same mark, the string walker mark, okay? All right, we're going to go close. Remember what I told you was that this sometimes at the 3D tournaments they put a little skunk target or some kind of raccoon or something small out at 5 yards. And 5 yards for everybody's a little different shooting. So let's say you're string walking, and what that is here, we'll knock an arrow. Okay. Let's say my mark for 10 yards for like a little past 5, maybe to 12 yards is 2.5 inches. So I go down. According to this is a Yoast tab. And if you look at it, it's got lines, and I think they're 1/4 8. So we go as 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1/4. We go down 2.25 inches, okay? Now let's see what happens at 5 yards. Okay, 5 yards for this setup is good. It goes high on, just high on top of the X, okay? Now what we're gonna do is go back to 10 yards and see how far it drops. We wanna know at 2.25 inches, how far I could go back and hit the same spot, okay? I'm gonna just move back, shut this off, and grab my rangefinder. This way we can be accurate for this video. Okay, I just checked with the rangefinder. Where I am is 10 yards, and I'm gonna go down string walking 2 1/4 inches again, just to see how far I can go back at that really low 2 1/4 inches, okay? Okay, I put my fingernail, the tabs under the knock at 2 1/4, and I slide the top down to my fingernail where it is, okay? I'm gonna come back, elbow all the way back, touch the top finger to the corner of my mouth. That thumb's gonna go under my jaw. I'm gonna keep my hand tight against my face, okay? And I'm not gonna push out the bow. I'm gonna keep it up there, but I'm not hyperextended. I'm gonna hold it up and on target. Let's see how far the arrow will drop coming back. Okay, let me see. Okay, that seemed to go up a little bit, tiny bit. They're still there, they're still acceptable, but that one went a little higher. Well, let me try it again. I'll go down, I'll show you the arrows, okay? When I was talking, I could have moved it, you know, a little bit, so I'm gonna go down 2 1/4 now without talking, just to see if it's the same, okay? Okay, I'm at 2 1/4. Okay, let's just go check it out and we'll see for the plotting purposes. Okay, these 3 arrows are touching, but they're just above. If I was trying to go for that small 10 ring on a small little animal, so we're going to leave it 2 1/4, and I'm just going to make a note. I'll write 2 1/4, okay, below the X, from 0 to 10 yards. Now we're going to go back and see how far we can get away with that 2 1/4, okay? So, all right, I don't have my pen with me, but I'll remember. I'm just going to tell you what you do is you get a little pad and you write down 2 1/4. You know, to 10, you want to shoot the bottom of the X. Simple as that. Now we're going to go back 2 yards at a time to see what the difference is. We're going to go back 12 yards, then 14. And at some point, because they're light little arrows and a light little bow, you know, they run out of gas and you got to come up. Okay, and how you go up is you go up in the back with string walking. You'll make it, instead of 2 1/4, maybe 1 1/2. It depends how far we go back. Let's see. Shutting off, moving back. Okay, here we are at 12 yards. We're going to go down to 2 1/4 and see what happens. We're going to aim at that black dot on the block target. Okay, the height's still good, and that was a little movement on me. Usually, if the arrow goes to the right, it's your bow grip. You did something with your grip. If it goes to the left, it's a pluck. All right, let me try it again. And it would be opposite for a lefty. Okay, so we know now, as far as the height goes on that target, we're going to take another shot back further, and then we'll talk. I'll show you the arrows. Okay, take this arrow with me. Let's go back maybe 14 yards. Okay, here we go. Let's see. 14 yards, okay? Something tells me it's going to be low now. At 14 yards, we're pushing that 2 1/4 inch string walk. Okay, like I said, we were good out to 10 yards, 12 yards. We're out to 12 yards, 14. We got to change it up. Okay, let's go take a look at the arrows. All right, sorry about that. Okay, we can see that now we're a couple of fingers down. So we're good to 12 yards, right? At 14, we're going to change it up and mark where we are at 14. What do we have to do at 14 yards to hit, okay? So I'm going to shut this off, pull the arrows, and we'll move back. Okay, we move back to 14. We're going to go to 14 yards. And I'm going to try an 1 3/4 inch, okay? I know from previously shooting, usually around 15 is an 1 3/4 inch. So on the dot, you know, normally on the target, I just want to be in the 10 ring or the 8 ring. But now we're trying to make a pinpoint. So I want to see how, at 14 yards, that 1 3/4 inch, you know, hits. See how high it is. So let's see, 14. Where's 14? 14. Here we are. So 1 3/4. Normally my 15 yard. We're going to try that. Okay, let me take another one. Take one more. Okay, so I don't know what happened with that first shot. We'll take a look. And the reason I videotape these things and show you is like, that's what makes archery fun. We're not precision. We try to be a shooting machine, but we're not. So I really don't know what happened with that first shot, okay? And it would be no fun if we always hit. You have to miss sometimes. And like I said, my eyesight's bad. I had brought out my glasses, but they're sun censored. So you know, I'm going to have to buy a pair of glasses that aren't sun censored. I came out, they turned dark. I was going to try to see if I could see the dot a little better, and they're black. All right, so the first one, really, you know, you're still in an 8 ring if you're shooting a 3D target, but that's not what we want. We want to plot our trajectory. We want to try and be accurate. So let's take away that one that we don't know what happened. And the other two are probably 10s, okay? So that's what we got, 1 3/4 inches, trying to be a shooting machine. We're gonna go back to 15 now. So we know 14, we're good. Let's try and go back. And you would write that down, you know? 2 1/4 out to 12, 1 3/4 from 14 on, okay? And you have an option, you know, for 13. You could either go a little higher or a little lower. You go a little higher with that 2 1/4, or with the 1 3/4, you could shoot the bottom of the 10. You know, and you can log that, whatever you feel comfortable with for that 13. But we know 14, we go in, it's probably the top of the 10 ring. Now we're gonna go to 15 and keep on going back, see what happens, okay? Let me shut this off for now. Let's check the block. It's 15 yards. We're gonna do that 1 3/4 again. And we're gonna try and be a shooting machine. My thumb underneath my jaw, slide back, top finger in the corner of my mouth. I'm gonna maintain pressure here while I keep my arm all the way back till you can't pull no more. And I'm not gonna hyperextend my bow arm. Try and put the point on, okay? Because my eyesight is not good, I focus on the tip, so the target's a little blurry. Howard Hill used to use split vision, and what he did was he focuses attention at a spot downrange, like that spot in the center of the block, and he saw the arrow tip, and it's peripheral vision, it's secondary vision, and that's how Howard Hill shot, okay? With me, I have to resort to the tip because my eyesight's not that good. And I try shooting with glasses. You always have that edge of the glass in the way, you know? So without wearing big cartoon glasses with lenses, you know, I'd rather just focus on the tip, okay? Here we go, 1 3/4, 15 yards. Okay, that's acceptable for me for this video. It's right in the middle. It appears to be in the middle of the dot. So now we're gonna go back to like 17 yards. We're gonna go back 17 and see what happens. Okay, here we are at 17 yards. We're gonna try that 1 3/4. Now, once again, this is just the measurements I have for really fast. These 100% Yucca carbon limbs, 35-pound limbs. This is a 15-inch Morrison riser. And it's I have a short draw length. To be honest, I always thought it was like 27, 27.5, but years ago I had draw length sticks when I used to teach the kids, and I gave them to the group. And I just bought one recently the other day. I don't know if it's because I'm old and I'm shrinking or whatever, but mine is like 25 3/4, 26-inch draw. It's not what I thought it was, all right? And maybe I changed my shooting style, my anchor points, and it is what it is. So now we're going to try 1 3/4 at 17. Okay. So 14 to 17, we can reach out with that 1 3/4, okay? I want to go down and take a look. We'll go down and take a look quick. Shoot one more maybe. Shoot one more. Okay, so from 14 to 17, 1 3/4 is good. We cover that whole range of the 10 ring, okay? So let's go check out the arrows. Okay, like I said, we're still in an average size 10 ring. All right, still in an average size 10 ring, but that is we're on the bottom of this little circle. So 1 3/4 is good from 14 to 17. All right, and then we're gonna take new measurements from 18 back, okay? Okay, 18 yards, we're gonna try 1 1/4 and see how that works. We're gonna breathe in, shoulders up, breathe out, shoulders down. So try 1 1/4. Okay, 1 1/4 is nice. Seems to be on top of that X that we want, okay? Let's go take a look, because it's starting to drizzle. I don't want to get some yardage in quick. So, okay, so 1 1/4 at 18 yards will definitely be on top of average size 10 ring, okay? And that's really acceptable. Now we're gonna go back to see how far we can get away with that 1 1/4 measurement. Okay, let's do that. Okay, we're at 20 yards. We're at 20 yards. We're gonna try that 1 1/4 inch at 20 yards. Been shooting a lot. I'm gonna try and be that shooting machine. Gonna breathe in, breathe out. One 1/4. Okay, 1 1/4 is good to 20. I'm gonna take another one and send it down there. So that's 18 to 20 so far. Breathe in, breathe out, shoulders down, 1 1/4. Okay, touching arrows down there. Let's go back to 22. I'm getting a little tired. They're still in the 10 ring, believe it or not, even though they're to the left of that target a little bit. Let's go back to 22 to see how far we can get that. Like I said, we got a little on and off drizzle going on here. Let's see what we got here. $22. Took a minute for that to come on. 22. Whenever you hear that rattle, that your tip's loose. Okay. 1 1/4. 22 yards. Okay, I think that's a little too far. Let me throw another one. So 18 to 20 would be 1 1/4. Then we have to do something else. Let me just send another one down. Okay, I'm getting tired. Let me go get my arrows. We're gonna do this 22 yards one more time with a different number, okay? So 1 1/4 was from 18 to 20. Now we're going to try 22 at 1 inch. See what happens. At 22 yards, we're going to try a 5/8 or a half and a line. Okay, there it is, top of the 10 ring. Now we're going to just take one back here from 25. Okay, that's a 22. Half and a line, or 5/8. Okay, we're on the money, we're good. Okay, take a walk down quick in the rain, just to show you. The 22 to 25 is 5/8 or a half and a line. Okay, so that's it. So that's good for me. And I could use that half and that line for sometimes they have a target at 27 or 30. You know, and a big buffalo's got a big 10 ring like that. You just pick the center and put a little higher, okay? So that's how you plot your arrows. I'm gonna review this later, mark down my yardage, and then just keep it in my mind, you know? So you know, you guess. I guess on the yardages, close, medium, and far. And after a while guessing at these 3D targets, you know, you don't need the rangefinder after a while guessing. You can kind of do better in your head guessing the yardage. But when you want to pinpoint or plot your arrows, you should use your rangefinder. So you can write down accurate descriptions of either how far you have to string walk or what you need to do with a visualization for gap shooting. All right, hope it wasn't too boring. It's the end of this. I'm gonna go in, dry off both my bows, wipe down the arrows, and call it a night. Watch my other videos on Bare Bow Joe. Thanks for watching.